Alright, how's everybody doing out there in Math Magic Land? That's right, this is Mr. Muscarella coming at you. And in this video, we're going to take a look at changing vertex form to standard form for quadratics. Now, first thing we got to do is actually know what those two forms are. So let's take a look at those. Vertex form is going to be this guy right here. Y equals A times quantity x minus h squared plus k. And we've got to change that into standard form for a quadratic, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now instead of y, you might have something really fancy written like an f of x or g of x, or who knows. But that really just means y. So let's take a look at our first example. Not too bad, very straightforward stuff here. We're going to change this quadratic from vertex form to standard form. Now the process that I'm going to have you guys go through is going to be to expand this quadratic. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the x minus 3 squared part and we're going to write that not once but twice. So we're going to write that down 2 times, just like that. And then don't forget this plus 4 that's sitting out here on the outside. Make sure you add that. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to leave the 2 out there by itself. And we're going to take the x minus 3 and x minus 3, and we're going to distribute those 2 terms. Now x times x is going to give me x squared. X times minus 3 gives me minus 3x. And then of course negative 3 times x will give me another negative 3x. And lastly, negative 3 times negative 3 gives me plus 9. So that's what I get when I distribute and multiply those 2 binomials together. And then, don't forget, I've got this plus 4 that's just kind of hanging out there on the outside. Now when we combine those terms, we're going to get 2 times quantity x squared minus 6x plus 9, and then plus 4. Now we're going to go ahead and take this 2 and distribute to each one of these terms on the inside. So to do that, just take your time and be careful, and when we're done, we will end up with the following. F of x equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 18, and of course, don't forget that plus 4 sitting on the outside. The very last thing we're going to do is combine the 18 and the 4, and of course that's going to give us 22. So our final answer on this one is going to be 2x squared minus 12x plus 22. But how do I know if I did that correctly? Did I make a careless mistake somewhere in my arithmetic? Well, this is where our good friend TI-84 can come in and help us out. Here, now we're going to put the original problem in y1, and then the one that we came up with, 2x squared minus 12x plus 22, we're going to put that in y2. Now rather than graph it, what I want you to do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at the table. And the table is right above the graph feature. So we're going to hit second and then the graph button. When we do that, notice everything that is in the y1 and y2 columns. They match identically. Since they match identically, that means I did my algebra correctly for each one of my terms when I multiplied and distributed and went through all of that. So 2x squared minus 12x plus 22 is the correct standard form for the quadratic 2 times quantity x minus 3 squared plus 4. So here's example 2. And what I want you to do is go ahead and try this one on your own. So pause the video, work that out, and then unpause it and come back and see how you did. How'd you do? Hopefully you came up with f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 16x minus 29. Now again, you can always check that using your TI-84 graphing calculator using the y equals and the table feature in your graphing calculator. But what I want you to do is make sure, and I'm sure your algebra teachers and your algebra 2 teachers will all be happy, make sure you write that f of x equals all the way down. Be neat, be organized, and that's going to help you not make any careless mistakes. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Peace out.